Like, very happy with the test match. We couldn't have asked for more. We've got a group of young men who, new captain, new vice captain, new leaders, all of whom I think have had a great week. They've left the team well, and some new players coming in, and for large parts of the game, it wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imaginations, but what we did get out of that was having to learn to keep our composure, keep our cool under pressure, and to see them come through and finish the game off as well as we did was really pleasing. So really happy.
Questions? How do you find the Welsh approach, Steve?
Yeah, pretty good. I thought it was a really good test match. I thought both teams contributed to it. I thought George North was outstanding. But asked after the game, if there was two things you'd like to improve on, what would they be? And the first one was tackle George North. It's unfortunate, it looks like he's pulled his hamstring, so we may not have to worry about it next week.
Steve, what was the general topic of conversation at half time?
It was a matter of staying calm and working through the things that we weren't doing that well, and getting a little bit more urgent to the breakdown, and being more accurate with some of the things we were doing, and not getting rattled. Just keep your self-belief and listen to the leaders, and tidy up parts of our game that weren't great. So it wasn't a rah-de-rah sort of a speech. It was more quiet and calm, and it was about how much did we really want to win it would come down to that, and they showed a lot of spirit and heart to do that.
Steve, you must be really happy with how Wasaki sort of recovered from a really average start to being one of the players of the game.
Yeah, spot on. Look, we talked out on the field, and he said, I won't say what he said because you can't write it, so about his first half, and I made the comment to him, son, the pleasing thing is that you came through the other side of that, and that takes a lot of effort, mental effort particularly. Like, we know he's really talented, and he hurt them even in the first half. I think he scored a lovely try, and when you try too hard, sometimes you make some mistakes, and I think he's been desperate to show us all just how good he is as a player, and the more time he spends in the jersey, I think the more we'll see a real quality player.
Do you think coming back like that could be the making of him?
Well, he'll certainly understand that you can come back. Like, I think that's the big thing. We all make mistakes, and how you deal with those mistakes is the key. Like, if you get stuck, then you keep making them. So he came through it, as did others. He wasn't the only one that made it. As a team, at times we made quite a few. So again, that's okay as long as we learn, as long as we stay calm in the heat of the battle, and new skip's got to take a lot of credit for that, because he's out there with him and his other leaders, making sure that people are okay. So well done, Rita.
Your thoughts on Cruden and his game management?
Well, I thought he was outstanding, but I'll throw that one to Foz because he looks after Cruden.
Pretty good. I thought he, I think like Steve referred before, is that it took a while to get a clear picture of where we needed to go, and in the meantime we made a few mistakes and made a few bad decisions, but he rose above that, I thought, and settled down well. So really pleased with the way he finished.
Kieran, you've skippered the ABs on this field before. How different was it this time?
Yeah, I think it was different. I think just the whole build-up as well over the last couple of weeks. But in saying that, once we were out in the field, it was an awesome feeling. I think the whole group of leaders learnt a lot today. We'll grow from this performance, and yeah, it was a great feeling. I think the boys, showed some belief and showed that connection that we needed. As a tight spot out there, and what a test match really is about. There's some good lessons taken from that.
Steve, you talked about not rebuilding but re-establishing. Did you see signs today that your team is re-establishing itself?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, look, you don't win test matches without quality performances, and whilst this one was a little rusty, all our first test matches of the year are always rusty. Whether we want to accept that, I'm not sure, but that seems to be a fact. So we have to accept it as a reality. But when you judge a team the most, I think, is when they're under pressure. So we went in at half time behind, young team. How were we going to react to it? And I think the response we got was first rate, and they, I think, put a line in the sand. Yes, we'll go forward from here. We'll be better from this performance, no doubt about it. But you have to start somewhere, and this group has started, and they're going about re-establishing themselves.
How important was your bench in that response?
Oh, massive. But look, that's nothing new. Like when we have won games in the past, we've said we've got a 23-man squad, and on game day, and there's a lot of credit's got to go to the other guys who didn't even get stripped, because they help you prepare. But on game day, we've got 23 guys who we want to ask the opposition, do you have 23? And you can play at a speed of game, and that can challenge the opposition. And we made subs early today because we felt that was the right thing to do, and each and every one of those subs made a difference. And that's what you want them to do.
Another strong performance from Bowden Barrett. You've spoken how he's such an impactful player off the bench, and he did that again tonight.
Yeah, world class, and that's what we want him to do. So I'm happy with that.
Kieran, was it a conscious effort to lift the tempo about the three-quarter mark, or did you actually feel Wales were flailing a bit?
I think probably that tempo is what we want to play with from the start. I guess it's very hard to do that, when the team's fresh and they're getting off the line really well, and we're probably a bit inaccurate early, so we couldn't do that. But I think, we're an 80-minute team, and I think, as alluded, the bench is able to come on and lift our team, and that's what we expect of them. So. It'll be, it's a tempo that we can play with. It's obviously tests your bodies and tests your skills, but we can get better. But it's certainly it's heading in the right direction.
Ian, what did you make of your midfield? It looked like the time and space was stifled a bit by the rush defence.
Yeah, it was, and that's kind of not their fault so much as a sort of a sign that we weren't getting the speed of ball that we really wanted during that game. So. They really had to tidy up a few things and tidy up a few sort of slow ball situations. I thought they dealt with that pretty well. I think we've learnt some things, particularly at half time, about a couple of adjustments we had to make when we get in those situations to give ourselves more time to see what was happening. But overall, I thought they got a really good pass mark. I thought Ryan grew as the game went on, and I thought his presence and some of his carrying decision making in that second half was pretty important to us.
They're a relatively new combination. Do you expect them to get better over this series?
Yeah, well, that's the plan, and it's they're certainly keen to, as is Seta and George, who are also chomping at the bit. And let's not forget that's a very, very experienced Wales midfield who know how to play, and they were very keen to try to shut that area and put a lot of pressure on that part of our game. So. Some great learnings, but overall, I thought they come through it pretty well.
Kieran, is it a heavy weight to carry on his shoulders, the captaincy, after everything Richie McClure achieved, and how much of a relief is it to get off to a winning start? Because everyone was talking about how the squad would react without those guys.
We really haven't spoken about it too much, to be honest. This is a new team, and for me, it's about leading the All Blacks, how I do it. So, it was nice today. And we'll just, keep building as a group. I think that's the most important.
Your comments on the refereeing, particularly that forward pass, that maybe it wasn't a forward pass.
Yeah, I can't say too much about that, can I? But he was okay tonight, I thought, Wayne. Certainly communicated really well with us. But yeah, it's one of those decisions he made, and you just got to deal with it.